Today's the day, Guardians, the Super Bowl of Destiny, Raid Day. And before you embark on your journeys to take out Crota for the 100th time, I want to remind you what you're fighting for. The true endgame of Destiny, the fashion.
Nice.
And this time, Bungie actually listened to us. We're not getting the base Crota armor back. This time, we're getting the good stuff. We're getting the Age of Triumph armor. I'm so happy because this armor is some of the best armor in the entire franchise. But here's the thing, does it hold up? Is it all just nostalgia? Rose-tinted lenses? Is it all just hype? Well, that's what we're talking about in today's video. Let's first talk about what made these sets unique. The spiky green glow. This is iconic, and while we've since had tons of glowing armor, few can hold a candle to this glow. I don't think Bungie would actually do this, but my number one wish for the D2 versions of these sets is for the green glow to accept shaders. I want to make these whatever color I want. I know the green is iconic, but a boy can dream. One unique effect that needs to come back is whenever you get shot, the spikes go away, and there were little particles that would freak out and like repair the horns. Little Muffin thought that was the coolest thing ever back then. Fingers crossed we get that back. Alright, let's talk about the set individually now, and we're going to start with arguably the best of the three, the Warlock. If I asked a bunch of Destiny 1 veterans which set was their favorite one from back in the Destiny 1 days, 4 out of 5 of them would say this one. Even if you may not agree with that statement, you do have to agree that this is the pinnacle of Warlock fashion. From head to toe, the set demands your attention. The helmet exudes this Lich King meets Demon Lord vibe, and the horns have to be one of my favorite design features of any helmet. And the robes follow that up with a strong presence that can pull the attention from any room they're in. These are likely the best robes in the entire franchise, and I will fight anyone on that claim. The giant collar just works so well, and the spikes coming off of the shoulders, like who doesn't think that's cool? I also have to highlight the chest area, which has this really cool symbol on it, as well as some armor plating below it. Chef's kiss. I could honestly make a whole video on just these robes, so I'll go ahead and stop there. The bond may be a bit tough to work with on its own if you're not able to change the color of it, but aside from that, I still think it's epic with the giant spike protruding out from it. I hope you guys can make something cool with it. As for the gloves and legs, you know me by now, if they don't stand out and make themselves known, then I don't want them. And while I do like the chitin on both as well as the spikes on the boots, there's just better out there. I don't anticipate these will be used as often as the rest of the set. If you're making your own set using this armor, I'd recommend starting by replacing those. You have lots of armor to choose from, including things like the King's Fall armor or the Ghost of the Deep set. Hell, I bet necrotic grips would be perfect for this. So does this set hold up by Destiny 2 standards? Of course. This set should be the standard. This is what Warlock armor should strive to be. This is a set you shouldn't miss out on. Alright hunters, you're up next. You know how you guys don't like asymmetry? Well, get a load of this. It's honestly kind of a meme at this point and it's funny. But as I always say, don't get caught up in all of that. I personally still love the set. Unlike the Warlock, this set still looks human. Like the hunter just picked up a bunch of random shit he found in the raid and strapped it to his armor. One of my favorite examples of this is the skull that's strapped to the waist. It reminds me a lot of the skull on the steeplechase set. The cloak is another highlight of the set. It's obvious that the horns are one of the best parts here, but the back of the cloak also looks cool. It looks like damaged moth wings, almost like the hunter ripped these straight off of a hive god. The helmet carries the moth design here with a very bug-like facade. You can even see how the eyebrow marks resemble the almost painterly style of moth wings. And this is carried further whenever you notice that the horns on the hood could be seen as moth antennas. The two places where the set falls short are the legs and the arms. Both have cool glows on one side, but that's really it. The rest of the armor is just kind of empty and leaves you wanting more. So does this set still hold up? I think despite what I said earlier, it's still a solid armor set worth the grind, with the cloak and the chest being my personal favorites. But the rest of the set, while still cool for sure, I feel as though I can get it better somewhere else. You know what I mean? Full disclosure though, I play on my hunter the least, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. Do you love the set, or does it leave you wanting more? I'd love to hear from you. We're going to close things off with the Titan. Now, if you look closely, you'll notice that underneath all of the chitin, there is a base Titan set underneath there. The reason that this was done was because Bungie wanted it to feel like you were adding your enemy's armor onto yours as the raid went on. I know some of you are tired of that after years of it, but you can't fault a set of the past for the sins of the future. I think the chest and legs are going to be pretty popular because of their simple shape, and because players are going to be drawn to the glows. I've always personally liked the glow on the chest, although if you use the legs, you may need to balance it out with another piece from the set because of the giant knee spikes. Speaking of giant spikes, the ones on the helmet are massive. They remind me of those cool frilled lizards in attack mode. You know what I mean. I know the helmet can be extra, but if you can find a way to get some more green glow on the set, you'll be able to make something pretty badass with it, and it'll get lots of attention at the tower. Speaking of over-the-top fashion, those gauntlets, those spikes are massive, and you know what? I'm here for it. Although a lot like the helm and the legs, because of how prominent those spikes are, it could be hard to mix and match with unless you use another part of the set. As for the mark, if you like the War Newman's mark from the King's Fall set, then you'll love this one, because they're basically the exact same thing, except for this one has more pizzazz. There's more detail in the bat wing, and of course the glowy spikes at the end. So does it hold up? Of course it does. This thing is still epic and so different from our current armor. I welcome the over-the-top nature of the set. It may even do better in D2 because we have so much more over-the-top armor than we did in D1. It may just be a slight challenge to use the spiky parts, but it'll be a fun challenge. That's going to be it for my thoughts on the three sets. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Do you like the armor? Which one of the three sets is your favorite? Let me know. Overall, some of these armor pieces could end up being a challenge to work with, and we may all end up looking the same at first, but whatever we do make, I know will look badass. Especially the Warlock, I'm legit never taking that off. That armor is my personality now. Now go forth, Guardians, go get that armor and make me some cool fashion. I'll be keeping an eye on all of my Discord channels for all of the cool stuff you'll make. Link in the description below. Shout out to all of my Patreon members. You guys are my heroes. Thank you for being you. It's been fun seeing all of the awesome stuff you guys have been making with all of the new season of the Witch armor. Good luck in the raid, Guardians, and if you want to watch another video, I'd suggest checking out this one where I make a tier list of all of the seasonal armor in the game right now. And as always, stay beautiful.